Hey, what's up, YouTube? So, it's been a while. Happy New Year. It's 2018 now. But we're going to recap and look at 2017, where I almost made $20,000 on Turo, and I'm really excited about that. I have some big plans I'm going to try out this year. But first, before I go into that, I want to look at the new changes that they made on the front page for Turo. If you go to Turo.com, you'll see a new splash screen. We're looking at it right now. And one of the things is a splash image right here. And it looks like the guy is stranded. And I'm sorry, but this is not the way you want to go if you're trying to rent cars out. I mean, the guy rented a Porsche, but he's looking like he's out in the middle of nowhere on the side of the road, and he's holding his phone looking back at the car as if he's stranded there. Like, is he trying to phone someone in to have him come pick him up? Probably not a good idea to have an image like this. We should probably email them and let them know, their marketing department or whoever. A couple other things that they've changed is they now have a business class. So if you have a 90% rating or higher as an owner, and you have a newer vehicle, then you can actually get your car listed in the business class section. And these are preferred owners, preferred cars, and they get a higher rating, and they get rented out for a higher amount. So that's something to look into if you're an owner. And I'm going to try to do that. I don't have any cars that are new enough for that service yet. But let's go ahead and step in and look at my earnings for 2017. Sorry for all the noises going on in the background there. So if we go into earnings, you can look at, let's go into 2017. And you can see I made $18,207 in earnings so far. But I have missed out on $962 in earnings, which means I would have been really close to that $20,000 mark. And the reason I missed out on those earnings is because I actually accepted the booking, but then for one reason or another, we were not able to actually follow through on it. And I missed out in August, $366, and then in July, I missed out on $335. So you can see these amounts really add up quickly, especially in those busy summer months. And there's a few reasons why I missed those bookings, and I won't go into that right now. But yeah, let's just go ahead and step through all the months here, and you can see my earnings in real time here. So in January, I did $1,700.93. And then in February, $923. In March, $1,644. In April, $1,518. In May, $639. In June, now we're going into the summer months here, $1,693. July, $1,630. And in August, $2,398. September, $2,173. October, $1,526. November, $951. And December, $1,321. So as you can see, these numbers really add up quickly. And I'm really happy the way things went last year. It's higher than I expected. A lot of that money actually went back into the car so I could add new repairs, get new tires, things like that, get new shocks for the Volvo. There's a few other things that I put money into, and paying off one of the credit cards that I originally got when I bought the BMW. Been paying that down. But yeah, I think everything is looking really good. So let's go in and go into the performance reviews. So if I go into performance here, this is a new tab that Turo has added. And you look at the response rate. I have a 100% response rate. That's higher than the top average hosts. The top hosts are at 95%. The acceptance rate is at 90%. That means it's at 100% actually for me. It's 90% for the top host. The acceptance rates means that's the number of rentals that I accepted, 100% of all the ones that were requested. That's 155 out of 155. And I think the last video I made, I was just at 105 rentals, and now I'm at, let's see here, let's look at my profile real quick. I've done a total of 172 trips. So that's another 70 or so trips that I've done since my last video. So things are going pretty well here. So my commitment rate is at 96%. That means I honored 149 out of 155 trips that were requested. And I could up that figure. I'm going to try to do that this year so I can stay in that top. I'm still barely in that top 10%. So my 5-star ratings could also use a little bit of work. I'm at 86% 86% rate there. That means that I've gotten 89 5-star ratings out of 104 rated trips. So I could get my rating up a little bit more. I'm 4% under. The top hosts are at 90%. And I did the math, and actually it's going to take me 40 more trips with 5-star ratings to get up into that 90 percentile. And that bracket's really hard to reach right now because I got 3 3-star ratings. I got, I think, 3 4-star ratings. And just that alone, out of 170 something trips, just because of that, just that small minuscule amount of non 5-star ratings, I'm having a hard time actually getting back into that 90%. It's going to take me 40 trips to get there. So that's something you really want to take care of if you're a renter, or if you're an owner, I mean. And make sure that the person is completely satisfied. And there's been cases for me where I was not able to the person would never be completely satisfied no matter what. Some of them gave a 3-star rating where they didn't even tell me what the problem was. And during the whole trip, they acted like everything was fine. So I have no idea what's going on there. One person gave me 4 stars recently because he smelled marijuana whenever he rented the vehicle. And that was due to the previous renter, the previous day. I could very, very faintly smell it. And I could tell that they tried to cover it up with like a citrus spray or something. And I didn't smell it that much, but he and his family could smell it. And the next renter, I mean. And that lost me a star. So that's a bummer, you know. I would say if you ever want to get rid of smells and you're an owner, use Ozium. That really helps a lot. You can go find it at Walgreens or any place like that. You can find like a small container or a big container. I have a big container that I use all the time now. So let's step through and get to my reviews here. I have a 4.82 average star rating, which is pretty good, but the top ratings are at 4.9 or higher. So I really need to try hard and get up there into that rating bracket. And the reason I want to do that is because TURO will start recommending my cars more often to renters. And let's see here. I've got another thing I could work on is I've got 24% of people that did not leave a rating at all. And what I need to do there is just follow up with these people right after it's done, thank them for renting, maybe offer them a discount or something like that, and say, will you please give me a rating? And that will definitely help me get that 40 5-star ratings that I need to get. All right, so let's see here. I think the next thing that I was going to go into is the emails. So they send out a monthly email, and I covered this in the last earnings report that I did a video on. And every month they send you these earnings reports. And I've already gone through the monthly money that I've made, but there's some additional information in these reports that I did not mention yet. And that is the average owner, what they made every month, and also what the top 10% of the owners are making, what they're averaging. And let's say in January 2017, the average owner made $721. The top 10% of owners averaged $1,500, and I got $1,793, which puts me a little bit above the top 10%. So that's great to hear. I also repeated that in the next month. So in February, let's see, the top 10% was $1,054. The average was $478. Mine was $923. So I'm able to stay above average or even above the top 10% in those early months. Let's see, in March I was at 1,644. The top 10% was 1,000. The average was 472. But if we go ahead and fast forward into, let's say, July here, where I got $1,630, the average was 920 there, but the top 10% was $4,828. That's a lot more than those previous months. So it looks like there's more renters with a fleet of cars there, and I think this is kind of setting a precedent for me where I want to try to meet that goal as well and get up to that $4,000 mark. So I think 2018 I'm going to try to hit the $3,000 mark per month, and I'm going to do that by probably getting another car. And if I do that, I'll start documenting my whole process of searching for a car and picking out the right one, researching it, and I'll do videos on that. I'll document everything, and I'm starting an Instagram profile for that, and a Twitter account, And let's see, I've got another thing that I'm doing. I'm going to do an audio podcast as well and talk about these things. And I'll put links for all that stuff in the description when they're ready. I'll do a video announcement for that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell button as well so that you get the notifications whenever I post a new video. And if you want to follow me along that journey. So let's see what December was like. So December was a slower month. And I can tell that because the top 10% of owners there only brought in $2,000, whereas in previous months they were bringing in that $4,000 mark. Mine was at $902. The average was at $605. So I'm still above average, but you can tell that December is probably one of those slower months. And I think maybe that kind of would be a good segue into looking at those previous months. Let's go into my earnings section again, and you can see these bar graphs here. And let's look. December for 2017 was 1,321, and 2016 it was at 969. So it is one of those slower months. September also looks like one of the more lucrative months. So let's look at September 2017. $2,000 in 2017, or 2173. In 2016, it was at 1,677. That was one of the better months in 2016 for me. And that was right after I'd gotten the BMW. So I hadn't quite gotten my routine down. I'd only been on Turo for a month at that point, and I still did pretty good that month. So anyway, that's something to do, I think. If you're an owner, go in here and compare previous months with current months, previous years with current years, and see what those dips are like, and see where the peaks are. Try to find those peak months and then plan ahead for them. Raise your prices, do things like that. Just plan ahead. Try to maximize your earnings. So I think that covers everything that I wanted to cover inside the Turo app. Let's see, here's my verifications. Here's my trip numbers. Here's what my current picture looks like. I've got this open format. I did a video on this when I took these pictures. I like it with all the doors open here, where it just kind of has this inviting feel to it. You can see inside the car and all that. And I've also updated my description. I still have my referral link in there, and that has helped me actually rack up an additional $600 in rental credits. So anytime I travel or go anywhere, I can rent a car and I can use those credits, and it won't cost me a dime. And I actually did that. We went to London, and on the way back we had a layover in Iceland for 3 days, and I rented a car there. And normally that would cost me $300 or $400, but I was able to use my Turo credits, rent a car there. Everything was taken care of. I didn't have to pay anything for it, and I still have a lot of money left over. I still have like $400 or $500 left over, and we're still getting. I'm still getting referral money every day. That $25 every time someone signs up using my referral link, and I still have enough in there to maybe rent a Tesla or something like that. So that'd be pretty sweet. I also made a trip to Salt Lake, and I rented a car there last minute for like $40 just for the day. And you can find really good deals on Turo even at the last minute. I rented that car that very morning, right before my flight. I was able to find it. That other renter, actually, it was interesting the way he had his set up. He has his car parked at the airport, and I've seen a lot of renters do this. He has his car parked at the airport. He has the key already there, ready to go. He unlocks it remotely, either using an app, or maybe he just says he does. I'm not really sure. I think he just has like an app that he calls in, and it unlocks the doors for him. And that's available. You can get those installed. I've heard you can get those installed for free. I haven't looked into it yet. Personally, for me, if I'm not going to be available, I have a lockbox. I bought a lockbox from Amazon. It's like put a combination in. It attaches to the outside of the window, and you put a combination in, it opens it up, and then the person can get the key out. And I've used that a few times when I went on my Iceland trip. We used it then. It worked out really great. I actually have two of them, and one of the renters lost one of them, I think. It was actually the weed smoker guy. He told me he lost the lockbox, so I ended up having to charge him for it. It was like $40, but he was fine with it. But yeah, anyway, some of the other updates I made to my description is I added some emojis on here to be a little bit more attention grabbing to some of the key items that I want people to pay attention to that really set this vehicle apart. That would be the all-wheel drive feature. I put a little mountain emoji next to it. The heated seats, I put a little fire emoji next to it. I offer a free Valet service for 5+ day rentals. And the reason I do that only for 5+ days is because anything below that, it just becomes a burden, and it's not as cost effective. Because if I ended up having to go to the airport it's going to cost me $30 Uber both ways. That's $60. I have to recoup that money somehow. It really eats into the fees after a while. So I only restricted it to 5+ days only. I also pointed out that I have they're not snow tires, but they're rated for snow. They're all season. I think they're the Continental ones that are on the BMW, and they work great in the snow. I mean, the Volvo does great in the snow too. It's a front wheel drive. It has good tires on it. I think that's all that really you need to drive in the snow here in Denver. They keep the roads pretty clean and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, this video is getting a little long. So any of the future stuff I'll just try to cover in another video. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just hit me in the comments. I did see some questions previously, so maybe I can try to go through those real quick. Let's see here. So this person's asking if he had $200,000 in cash and it could only buy vehicles specifically to profit on Turo, what would I buy and what market would I put them in? Asking for a friend. Well, $200K is a lot. I would probably go for a Tesla, actually. I mean, those are doing really well on Turo from what I've been seeing. However, I know the market's getting a little bit saturated right now, so it might be risky to do that. I myself have been thinking about getting one, but I've been looking at, I've been researching and looking at different cars and seeing what their rental history is like and how often they're getting rented. And I'm not sure it's a good move for Denver, at least. I think it really depends on the market. You have to look at the market that you want to target and just find, do your own research. Like I said, I'm going to be looking to buying a car, and I'll show you how to look into that stuff yourself and find cars that might be a good fit for what you want to do. So that's a tough question to answer at this moment. So let's see. This person's talking about people illegally parking. Yeah, I mean, if you get tickets and stuff, you can just pass it on to the renter. I've had to do that quite a few times, actually. It hasn't happened in a while, but it does happen. And usually you just fill out a form and you pass the liability on to the person. You can do it yourself, or you can actually have a Turo do it. So this person is asking about insurance. I actually already answered that. Basically, you have to have your own personal insurance defined by your state. Like if you still have a loan out on the vehicle, you obviously have to have full coverage. Let's see, and those rules vary state by state. So this person's saying, he's kind of just giving advice here. He's saying that he rents 3 cars in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he's got an older BMW and a Mercedes, and he's able to rent his cars out for higher amounts just by offering free delivery and things like that. I used to offer free delivery. It's just, I find, a lot of people try to get one-day rentals and stuff, and it's just, man, one-day rental and you have to actually deliver the vehicle. It's just not worth it. This person is asking how I handle pickups. It really just depends. A lot of people just come to me because I'm charging a $50 delivery fee. It used to be $100, and I've had 2 people pay that since I had that, but I've had more people pay since I've lowered it to 50, and I think it's worth it to have it at least $50. It's free for 5+ days rentals, as I mentioned earlier. This person is asking if high-end and luxury vehicles have a higher ROI. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I've been seeing like Kia Sorentos and stuff being rented for $50. That's about the same as an older BMW. I don't expect any older BMWs or Mercedes or anything like that to get a high dollar amount. It really depends on the market, though, of course. You just have to be competitive. This person is asking if you can have a dash cam within the vehicle. I mean, as long as you disclose it, I'm sure it's okay. You just need to let them know. I would also put maybe a sign on the vehicle. I've seen whenever I go into a Lyft that sometimes a person will have on their back window, it says, on their side window, it'll say, "You're being videoed." So definitely make sure that they know. And also you might want to check with your state, make sure there's no laws against that. When you drop your car off the airport, where do you park? And where do you put the keys? Like I said, I just use a lockbox, and I'll just park in the most convenient place for them to find the vehicle. So in Denver, my favorite place is the 6th level, and that's one level above baggage claim. And all they have to do is just go up the escalator and then walk across past all the buses and cabs and stuff. We have a specific level for cabs and buses here in Denver at the Denver International Airport, and they just cross that, and then the car's usually parked right there in the top level of the parking garage, and they just pay I don't know, a small fee, $3 or whatever if it's been there for an hour, $6 if it's been there 2 hours to get out of the parking garage, and they're usually fine with that. I really need to do that unless there's like some last minute thing came up and I can't be there to deliver the car to them right on the curb. I always try to be deliver it curbside though. Let's see. What you need to do is get a commercial account with tires and get discount tires. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Now that I have an LLC, it'd probably be easier for me to do that. The person's asking if I have commercial rental insurance. No, I've been looking into it. It's just been difficult to find. I haven't gotten any pricing yet or anything, but I really need to do the math and see how much I'm already paying every month on average versus how much I would pay for commercial. All right. I'm not sure what this is asking. I don't have a lot of requests here in town. This person is on TURO, obviously. I don't have a lot of requests here in town, so I had to place the address closer to Atlanta. But in the end, it wasn't worth it due to the driving I had to do with a hectic schedule. Do you know if someone else can deliver a car for me? Yeah, you can have someone deliver the car for you. There's no rules against that. I mean, in some cities, TURO offers a valet service. That you just give TURO your car the day before, and they handle it all for you. But, you could always hire someone. Maybe you can find someone on Craigslist who's willing to do it for pretty cheap, Or find some way to park the car near the area where you're renting it from. And just use the lockbox thing or the remote key unlock option. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, leave me any questions for the next time. I think the next few videos I'll try to cover maybe some research that I'm doing to find a new vehicle, and maybe go over my new social profiles that I've set up and try to show you all the places where you can find me and keep tabs on what I'm up to. I'm going to be posting photos to an Instagram account. That's going to be, I think, Instagram/Mike's Trips, unless I change the name. Let me check that real quick. Yep, actually it's Mike's Trips YT, like YouTube. Mike's Trips YT on Instagram. And I'll be posting photos and stuff like that there of various kinds of TURO related stuff, car related stuff. Alright guys, I'll post the stuff in the description. If you want to join TURO, make sure you hit that description referral link, sign up there. It'll really help me out. Alright, see you guys next time.